Hey everybody, Jay Marino here, welcome back. This is IXION. We're having a really solid Chapter 1 start here. So send me in. We need to make some batteries. We need to process all of the available carbon and silicon that's in the solar system. And we need to finish up our science. And then from that point on, we are min-maxing our little hearts out before we go into Chapter 2. So here we are. We have, let's check our worker count. We need enough workers to turn on the electronics factory. We have our EVA airlock finally back to repairing. We should have enough carbon that we could make more solar coming up here. So we could probably get away with more, and I'm going to go ahead and build even more insect farms and just get rid of all the insect farms over here in Sector 1. Maybe we can get a food specialization over here. That would be really good. And I really want to finish these optimized quarters. And that's because the optimized quarters, it's not just the fact that they hold more people, it's that if you can get everybody, if you make the majority of people live in optimized quarters, you get +1 stability. So we need to get out of neutral soon. Otherwise, we're going to hit a trigger here pretty soon that's going to throw us into negative everywhere. So, you're done.
A new request awaits your
Outer Hope
attention.
lies in ruins. Many embalmed bodies were found in the remains of the station, deliberately arranged in a spiral-like pattern. Great care and attention seem to have been paid to the bodies. The Sensitives team traced the emergency broadcast and, after clearing away several tons of debris, discovered a hidden room buried beneath the detritus. The room was sealed with an automatic lock that requested Tiqqun identification codes. Upon entering the codes, a brief message flashed across the input screen. Truth is the story that best resists reality. Inside, the team found Outer Hope's black box, a number of resources, and a data log from Rabia Nyakand. It contained the following message. Administrator, you carry with you the echo of the future allowed us to create. Self-similar space will reveal the pattern. The black box's data can be analyzed using the Tiqqun's tech lab. Right. So we can resume, and we want to dismantle Outer Hope. I think that's pretty much all the science at this point. So now we are just at a kind of an equilibrium of bringing in resources and processing them. What do you got for me here? Administrator received the data from Outer Hope's black box. Further analysis is required, and extraction protocols can be launched via the Tiqqun's tech lab. Understood, sir. We can queue that up after our optimized quarter finishes here. It is free. It's story related. It just requires time. How are we doing over here? We have enough workers to turn on both of these, just barely. Again, it's not even a little bit. It's an exploit here. To have not even triggered a single accident, such that now, like, minor accidents happen even if every place is in optimal status. If every sector's in optimal status, you'll still have minor accidents that remove workers from the labor force. They generally just won't die. It just puts them into an infirmary, which means we'd also have to power our infirmaries. But by not having a single accident, which requires you to go into extra hours, we're cooking with gas. This is looking really, really good. So we're bringing in the silicon. The carbon is gone. All right, go ahead and pick this up and the food, and then get back to bringing in people, please. Carbon is pretty much full. Just more polymer means we could make more solar.
A science ship team has completed a task.
I have enough to turn this on for now. And I always pause the game to make sure it's not gonna kick me into extra hours and cause an accident. It might even happen if you're paused. I'm not 100% sure. The reason I do that is, like, I want to be able to heal faster so I can get out of the danger zone and build more solar power, which we don't need immediately, but we have the silicon, so we might as well. We have the polymer, so we might as well spend it. And we're not going to get any more. There's no more available. Wait, where did it get the electronics from? It shouldn't have been able to get them from here because this is marked to hold carbon, which means that it can't. I don't think it can supply electronics even if it wanted to. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe it can get rid of electronics because it's trying to purge them because it wants only carbon. That's got to be the case. I could get even one more insect farm over here. And we're at really, really good food. Homelessness is going to be the next issue. I'm also close. I really want to go ahead and start Actually, I don't want that placement there. I'm going to start doing up here instead. Because I'm going to use this area down here at the bottom for something else later. So let's do that. What else are we spending money on right now? Nothing. We're just in a waste cycle. Again, iron comes in at a or steel and iron. We have plenty of iron. It's just a lot of it comes in at a bit of a trickle right now. All right, excuse me. I told you to bring the food first. Hello. That was probably left over from an earlier thing.
A new request awaits your attention.
Okay. Administrator, the black box's data has provided some useful information. A DOLOS facility has been located hidden in the atmosphere of Jupiter. Officially designated Hephaestus, the site was used to develop a new type of Vol engine. It also accommodated the construction of a Taurus-class superstructure known to DOLOS as the Protagoras. This iteration on the Tiqqun was sent on a mission to seek out the habitable exoplanet Remus, where the last survivors of Earth could establish a new home. Despite the damage done to Outer Hope, the station was still able to later receive a distress signal from the Protagoras with Vol jump coordinates encoded, indicating the ship's last presumed location. So, after we left, again, we must have been gone a long time. They finished the Protagoras, which they talked about in the prologue, and they sent it out there. We have enough food. I'm actually going to get rid of this as well. I want enough space to make a few things next time. Yeah, I want to leave enough room so we can, since we can afford to right now, I'm going to go ahead and transfer a few of these up here instead. Again, that's fine. We can afford to do that. I can make the better quarters now. I think if I dismantle any housing, they're gonna go homeless. But as long as it's temporary, it should be okay. Oh, I think we have enough crew here. It's not based on available housing, it's based on total crew. Okay. Alright, so now we can do this. And we can utilize all that space. It does cost more, but you can fit 40 people in. It costs 40, it's like one alloy per number of people that end up in there. So that's all good, I think. I'd love to be able to start processing this silicon. We are negative right now because homelessness is too high. I thought this would be red, but it might take a full cycle for that to update. Trending negative just means you're at a negative trust. That's okay. I mean, I don't love it, but it's okay. Okay, and because we don't have much leeway here for our we don't have a ton of leeway here for our what am I thinking? Oh, for our steel. So we just have to slowly work on this. I don't need both of these running. We just need one. And we still don't have enough workers. Here, let's flip back over here. And you can see immediately that I didn't resolve our homeless situation, but it helped a lot. So let's just keep doing that one at a time. I don't love having to do it one at a time, but we will do it one at a time. Okay. Do the same thing in Sector 2. The reason we want to do this, one, it increases the number of available housing. But again, once we get everyone into optimized quarters, see, currently we have +1 from mostly living in crew quarters. That'll get to +2 for living in optimized quarters. So that's good stuff. If we get enough workers over here, then we could turn on the electronics factory. I cannot afford to turn off my steel right now just because we're repairing the hull constantly and we're now building new types of quarters. So that's going to take a while. Just making sure this fits according to my build layout. Just one at a time. And then we can also tear down a lot of this. We won't need most of this once we get these all as optimized. We'll have a few over here that'll be optimized, but we don't need all of them. Okay, you're next. Again, you have to remember, you need space in a stockpile in order to put this stuff. How's our food, by the way? Again, we're constantly waking people up, so there is a danger. Do that. Almost to the 30 we need. Again, being right at 30 is super dangerous, but we have not had any accidents, so we are okay. I thought power overloads might trigger accidents, but they haven't so far. I think I could probably make more solar. Yeah, 54 polymer. We can afford that. And then let's check. We got plenty of iron in the system. We've got plenty of iron in storage still. So you're just going to keep bringing in cryopods. And why don't we just send one of you over to make, to get... I mean, sure, mine the ice. I don't think I'm going to pick it up, but it's out there. Yeah, go ahead and pick up the iron. Outer Hope. Outer Hope has been dismantled. Resources are ready for extraction. Delightful. That's what I like to see. So we have one idle person, worker thing. Go out and pick up this. It's, you know, finished goods. That's what I like to see. Okay, here we go. That's a lot of power and a lot of workers, but we're okay. So that can start processing the silicon. But we don't. What we're missing is we need. We need a place for it to drop off the chips, because this is not technically a chips thing, right? So we're gonna need another. That's fine. We have options. We have options right now. We've got options. So let's go ahead and dismantle this. Food is at 102, so we have plenty of workers over here. It's more the iron usage right now. I'm doing a few too many things at once. Okay, that should... it gets us a little closer to fixing homelessness. Still only mostly in crew quarters. Let's wait for this waste cycle to finish. The hull is fine. Let's dismantle here.
No more resources available to mine.
Again, we're at close to 3,000 iron. That could keep us in maintenance mode for a very, very long time and allow us to get all of our crew quarters upgraded and all that stuff. So we'll do this. Again, it's just really keeping an eye on... we only have one small stockpile of alloys. I could maybe get another one, but it wouldn't matter because we're not making enough to fill it up. I don't really like this here, so we can ditch that. The important thing is that we have a lot of room. We have a lot of room to move around here. That got filled up again. So we'll just keep doing that. One thing I'm considering is changing my road layout here to appropriately reflect what it's going to look like in the long term. That should help us quite a bit. I have science that I have not been doing anything with. That is silly, silly of me. Let's see. So the EVA airlock, we can reduce the cost to, it's not by much, 5% reduction in cost to keep the hull repaired. Alternatively, we can go DLS center, which I had mentioned. Everything else is like a nice to have, but it's not a must have right now. So either we go DLS or we make hull repairs cheaper. I think there's enough iron in the solar system right now that we're not really in a rush. So I'm going to go ahead and do DLS. Because DLS can provide +2 stability straight up to each sector when you put one in. And again, stability is going to be a thing that we're going to need here eventually, non-negotiable. So... let me see. I'm just looking at my layout here. So eventually we want to do this here. These are just placeholders. I don't plan on actually completing these. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. That's what I like to see. And then I can just connect that like that. I got rid of exactly as many as I wanted to. And then, kind of looking up here, we're going to put some batteries up here, which we need to really start thinking about soon. And then again, this is more for this is for my reference rather than actually needing this right now. But we could start moving this stuff. That could be really helpful. Need a new workshop. Okay. That is good. Maybe we are going to need to move one of these. I mean, this up here is nice and snug. We could leave these ones up here. I mean, eventually we'll get another EVA up there, because as we open more sectors, we need the ability to repair them. How are we doing on homelessness and food? Food is fine, but let's maybe increase the amount that each sector is asking for to make sure that we're making sure everyone gets fed. Sector 2, you really just look at the mess hall. It takes 19 food, so they don't need more than 20 in stock. We'll give them 30 just in case. Whereas Sector 1... Well, let's see. So they're currently underfed. The less you have to transfer between the sectors, the better. Yeah, it's looking like we're going to want to give them at least 40 in stock, and then you guys can stay at 20. I'm going to go just a little bit higher for both. That is alloy. Whoops. So Sector 2 needs 25 food. You need 45 food. The needed alloy in Sector 1 is just enough to repair the hull. So, like, keeping 20 in stock here is fine, and also it allows us to be able to... it gives us the ability to really demolish things with ease. All right, we're going to ditch both of these. We're going to make another optimized quarter here. Again, we're going to really need batteries here pretty soon. What I'm going to do is flip this briefly back to electronics so that this stuff can empty. Again, having to double use stockpiles like this is not ideal, but it's very space and power and manpower efficient. Okay, we're going to start sending people over to Sector 2 next. Alright, you're doing nothing. You can go ahead and start bringing in iron. Okay, so looking at this... So the workshop here, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4... We've got 8 tiles of road past the workshop. 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2, 3, 4. Where we start going down like this. We're going to fit our DLS center in right here, and then a memorial down here for stability, which means one of these has to go. That's okay. We'll rebuild it in a better spot, different spot. This down here isn't going to be used for a while, so we can just cram in whatever we want. Right, really this road is not super important. We'll make it work. Okay, housing continues to be a problem. Again, the iron income is... I can't just blast off and just place all these structures down, just by the nature of the way that you just slowly can do this. It's time consuming. You don't need to be paused. I don't know why I did that. Okay, we don't need this workshop anymore. So we have a second one. And it disappears immediately because it was free in the first place, so it doesn't let you... Every 3 cycles for 30 silicon. We've almost burned through all the silicon on the map, which means we can destroy this. Similar with polymer. We have enough polymer to make even more solar panels. That costs 3 of the chips, but that'll open up our polymer supply, because otherwise it's full, and I just want to burn through as much of it as possible. So we flip you over to chips. They get consumed, and we flip you back to carbon, so that you can then supply to the carbon factory, which can now output appropriately and continue production. Okay, and then let's keep going with our optimized quarters. And we really need batteries soon too, but I don't have a huge surplus of alloy. We need to do it. So We need enough battery power to let us fly to Jupiter. So you go ahead and float over there. I guess let's double check. Is there anything that we really could use in this system? Again, hydrogen, ice, not really doing it for us. There's a few spots of iron. Like, I guess it really couldn't hurt. It's 3 polymer to send that probe out there. And going into the next sector... So we're negative here. Oh, because we're homeless. That's fine. We're building. And I have enough workers to support all of this. Food is at 105. What was that sound? It sounded like something bad happened there. I think it's because they started construction on the solar panel, which turning this on actually wouldn't help. So we'll just wait. Hull should be fine. I've said multiple times, hull should be fine. Okay, we're bringing in iron still. I'm just trying to be just very, very ginger about this this chapter. Things can go wrong very quickly. I'm really focused on upgrading all my housing first.
Science ship has arrived at its destination.
That should really help so that I don't have to worry about it next chapter. Okay, Jupiter. The coordinates recovered from the black box of Outer Hope have allowed us to successfully locate the Hephaestus construction facility on Jupiter. Using the encrypted channels and DOLOS communication protocols found on Outer Hope to access the Hephaestus site seems to have woken the resident PA. Diagnostics reveal that prior to the failure of the site's data archiving systems, the facility had been inactive for several decades. Strangely, the industrial zone is currently powered and operational. I would love to investigate it. We're going to need to move the Tiqqun over to Jupiter eventually, which is why we need enough battery power to last us to do that. So it's we need enough battery power for 2.3 cycles in each sector. Once we have more room here and we demolish these factories, these take up a ton of power, so if they're turned off or they're demolished, then we don't need them. We don't need to worry about them in terms of battery power. So, like, we'll put some batteries up here. Let's continue their housing, though. You know, because I've been waking up so many people. I think normally you just bring in the cryopods and start waking them up next chapter. But, again, if there's enough iron for us to dig into that's just sort of floating out there, if I can just sort of be in an equilibrium and keep my food at a relatively safe level, then I'm good. I'm jiving. We're looking great. Okay, so when we were doing this one, comes down here. I'm still waiting on DLS, right? We don't need it immediately, but pretty soon. Okay, so these with upgrades can benefit based on sector specialization, so we can get the genetic Conatus statue and put it here. I don't need to fully build it. Wait, did I mess this up? Did I mess the spacing up somehow? Because this goes here and then my DLS center goes one above it, but DLS is only 5. Don't tell me I messed it up. One, two, three. Oh, no, it is. It's only 5. So I'm just putting that there and pausing it. We don't need to build it right now. It's just kind of holding that space. And then we can make more stockpiles, or I can just make more bug farms. Also, unfortunately, the spacing of these two is not ideal. It's going to tank my food production very briefly, but that's okay, because I'm just rebuilding them immediately. And no, I'm not, because, you know, pause this. It's not that important. Yeah, some people are homeless, but they'll be okay. They'll be okay for now. Okay, they're doing their civic duty. These guys are happy. Oh, it's because most of them now are living in optimized quarters. Perfect. And then with that in mind, let's go ahead and plop this down. I understand the placement of this is not what you might like, but again, I have my late game placements, and that's where those go. So it's fine. You'll be okay. The Sim City will come together later, trust me. Like putting my lab down here, it'll come together. It'll work.
The science ship team has completed a task.
Yes, you have. We've reached the automated construction site, which, despite its age, is still in good working condition. Although the DOLOS technology here is recognizable, it is much more advanced than what we have aboard the Tiqqun. In the control room for the site, we came across a mausoleum dedicated to Lyra Fraus. The resident PA identified us as a DOLO personnel and granted access to data records. These confirm that the Hephaestus site was used to construct and house an advanced prototype of the Vol engine codenamed IXION. An engine of this type is currently moored to an EKP structure with a harness link. Our engineers say one of the mining ships could tow this. Attaching the IXION engine to the Tiqqun will restore our Vol jump capabilities. Because our Vol engine is trash and it destroyed the moon. So we're going to get this better one, I guess. Alright. Alright, Mammoth. Get on it, buddy. So we're going to tow it out of Jupiter's atmosphere so that we can attach it. Alright, it's assigned. It was just out there, I think, harvesting ice or something. Again, if we had enough battery power, we could just move the IXION to other planets so that we were closer to the resource deposits. We'll be doing that more on later chapters. But for right now, again, my focus is we want to be able to keep the hull nice and tip-top shape and have some positive alloy. As long as I come in here and there's enough alloy on the map, enough iron on the map that we could then bring in, everything's fine. We're all good. Okay, once again, it's looking like we're out of carbon, so you could turn that off and just be electronics now. Very nice. Actually, I take that back. What I'm going to do is make you carbon, and I'm going to demolish this structure because I don't need it anymore. And we just wanted the carbon out of it, so now you can be electronics again. And it's a little cheeky, but it must be done. I guess it doesn't have to be done, but, you know. Okay, our food. Sort of let that go by the wayside here, didn't I? So if I come over here, this is a little stupid, I'm going to be honest, but these 3 insect farms are actually permanent. Eventually these will all get replaced. I just like the idea of having a little diversity in my food production, so we'll keep some insect farms here forever, but they're not really needed. Okay, where are you sending workers? Sector 2 still. Sector 2's got enough going on. Let's send them back to Sector 1, which now has better housing. The silicon. Where do I want to keep that? We could do the same thing here, where we now can get rid of the electronics factory. That silicon is going to come in here, so now we're housing 3 different resources in here. Again, it's I guess it's an exploit. I mean, in reality, we're just storing it. We can't move it unless we do some extreme micromanagement. So, you know, how much is that really necessary? We dismantle this one. Okay, and we're looking good. So we've got all of this. I guess I could make the memorial, because these guys are still trending negative because we're not all in optimized quarters yet. So unpause this. Okay. You've got to hold iron. You've got to hold chips. You've got to hold food for now. And then that will allow us to demolish this. And demolish this. Okay, food is back up to where it needs to be. Yeah, it wasn't looking good there for a second, but I think both of our... Yeah, we're good for the next meal cycle, which is coming up. And then we'll figure it out. Okay, these folks over here are very displeased with me, as they should be. So... we can start replacing these over here. And do we have enough food? Yeah, we're still good on food. We still have these up here as well. If I have to move those, I will.
A new request awaits your attention.
All right, please don't at me with the requests. The requests scare me a lot. Okay, there we go. All right, where's the request? Oh, okay. Clay and Munchi algorithms have identified that staying too long in one system exacerbates dead Earth sickness. This collective trauma will not begin to heal until the crew can set foot on their new home. We cannot stay in a system that holds no hope for humanity. Acknowledged. So we're back to neutral in Sector 1, which offsets our optimized quarter living. And Sector 2 is just... it's neutral. Oh, I just finished the optimized quarter. So, okay, we're neutral in both. Thank goodness. And I have the memorial started. Eventually, we're going to get a memorial over here, and that will help a little bit. I kind of need to clear out these if I want to fit the memorial. Where is the memorial in this one? Just kind of reviewing my diagram here. There's a cool little site you can mock up your build. So it's here. Yeah, it fits. If we get rid of... we have to get rid of all this stuff. But it does fit. I guess we're going to move the mess hall again? Sorry, mess hall. But it has to be done. Let me just double check this. Again, we're just putting more quarters over here. So we'll just put it here. I want to put it close to the food. This is fine. Is this where it was in the first place? I think I put it like on the edge here, so it didn't really line up appropriately. Okay, this is feeling pretty good. We have a good amount of iron wiggle room, which is what I needed. And demolishing. Oh, it's because this is where the polymer factory was. Let's see how we looking. Yeah, 2,500. We're cooking with gas. Everything's great. We're just slowly unfreezing people. You also get a stability negative if you have more cryopods in a single sector than there are crew. So if we had 400 cryopods or 369 cryopods unfrozen in this sector, we would have -1 stability. And it gets worse with the additional ones that you add. So that's just something to keep in mind. Okay, so now we have some room to work with down here, because again, we're eventually gonna put more. We're gonna put more stuff down there. Man, oh my gosh. Is this the problem? Has this been the problem the whole time? I think it's okay. This is not working for me right now. What I'm going to do is do a workshop here, a thing here for maintenance, and this is going to be food. Okay, and then eventually my mess hall is going to go up along this up here. But for right now, this is okay. These are going to be reserved for ice later. Probably don't need 2. In the meantime, this one can be food. It's fine. Okay, we didn't have enough here to make 1 full cycle of the other stuff. You can be chips. And we also want to set it so that every sector always is requesting at least 1 electronic chip. It's just handy. And then Sector 1, we don't have anywhere else producing polymer, but we want to set this to max polymer. Almost to that DLS center. Sector 1 is still having... oh, it's because I've just been unthawing people here forever. Turn this off. I need more food production before I proceed. So we're going to have more fruit production down here eventually. I can just make more insect farms in Sector 1 until we get that worked out next time. I don't love having to do that, because that I'm going to be building there pretty soon. This is kind of spoken for, and this is kind of spoken for down here, but I can use this and get rid of this road. It's a good road, to be clear, but we'll do that instead. Okay, that's what needs to happen. That's going to take a while to build, but that's That's all right. Okay, we're going to demolish some of this stuff up here, and then we're going to build our mess hall eventually. We don't need as many of these quarters. A huge amount of alloy spoken for to build this stuff. So honestly, just pause these two because we're a little short, truthfully. Hull is totally repaired, so it's an inefficient use right now. Later in the game, that's not going to matter, but right now it does. Our food levels are coming back up to snuff. That was a little dicey. That was a little dicey. Are we looking on this stuff? It's fine. So not only do I want to complete these, but then I also have to finish up my... not finish. I need to start battery production, which is very alloy intensive. But again, there's enough iron on the map to be smelted that we should be fine. Only having one iron smelter is tough, but I do have enough workers. I could make another one. Truthfully, it's just waiting. It's really not that big of a deal. We have to wait for these MFers to get thawed anyway, so I don't know if it really makes a big difference. We're going to run out of dock space here pretty soon. So that might be a reason. The thing is, we're smelting fast enough to keep up with hull repairs and everything else. So I'm not too concerned about it. Every time this has 20 in it, that means I can afford to build one of these. Because that means, if that's got 20 in it, that means that this side of things is okay. It's not looking to provide over here because it doesn't have its minimum to repair the hull, which has to take priority. Okay, workers over here. Yes, we're okay. One thing I realized, I'm like, if I just keep building stuff over here, we might start facing some challenges. All right, close this. We can turn this back on. Workers, fine, because we've been thawing. Workers right now is not a problem because we got away with the start of the game with no accidents. I really can't stress how important that is. Again, though, it's a bit of an exploit in the sense that, like, you should have an accident triggered whether you go into overworked hours or not. Like, it should just happen, right? The only thing left to do is maybe check to see if there's more. I mean, I don't think there's anything else to really mine except ice, which I don't need. Is there anything around maybe Jupiter? I mean, sure. If it's out there, I'll take it. Let's check. The extraction procedure was a success. Hephaestus' PA helped us a lot during the operation. She may try to connect the Tiqqun directly. May we follow the same self-similar pattern. Alright, so we have to bring the Tiqqun into orbit of Jupiter. Alright, we're getting some science, which is sorely needed. My DLS center is done. The question is, what comes next? Like, what do we really need? I think getting the infirmary upgraded is usually important, but we've been not having any accidents. The thing is, we will, especially when we expand into the industrial sector next time. The amount of workers and the amount of power required for that is insane. So we can either... I mean, the min-max part of me says, let's go ahead and reduce our repair costs through the EVA airlocks, because that is... that eats up so much alloy. So, wait. Cancel this. I don't want to do that. I'm glad I'm paused. Reason being is, rather than that, for the next mission, there are a couple upgrades for our science ships that we're going to want, which is deep dive apparatus and exoskeletons. This basically allows them to do certain things on planets that they otherwise couldn't. So, actually, if we can go into next mission having those, then that would be great. Okay, I can afford to go ahead and demolish another one of these. This is... The infirmary is the same size as the optimized quarter. It might not seem like it, but it is. So it is valuable. I mean, it's space efficient there.
Integrity below 50%.
50% is fine. I'm going to save just in case I accidentally forget to not turn it back on. I really should set like an alarm or something. Because very rarely does the hull deplete because I'm out of alloy. It just depletes because I forget to turn it back on because I'm trying to min-max my alloy usage. Yeah, this is looking good. Being able to have both turned on makes me feel pretty good as well. Eventually we'll get one up here and one down here, and then we can't fit a fourth thing down here, but that's okay. If I did get another EVA airlock, it actually... How are we doing on food? If I can get rid of these and build an EVA airlock up here, not only is it more space efficient, it would kick this sector into, because we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 space structures, and I think that makes it space specialization 2, which decreases hull cost, hull repair costs. So I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to do this while we're paused and make sure that this doesn't reduce us. No, it does not reduce us to below 0. Especially because we got these online.
Resources available to mine.
Alright, I am going to remove these. That does give us a lot of homelessness, but for now it's okay. Just checking every so often. Like, I don't want to pop in here and realize, like, oh, there's no iron to bring in to smelt. Then it's like we're screwed. This was a big mistake. But no, I think we're I think we're handling this quite well. We do need batteries though. So, looking at my battery layout for later, realistically, I don't need. Like, this area down here, I'm going to get a 4th EVA airlock eventually, but right now it's not super critical, so I can make batteries down here. Let's just start with 2. We're going to need more than that. I think it was, what, 2.3 cycles? But we also have plenty of alloys, so we're also going to need batteries in here. I'm going to move my mess hall up here to kind of, again, open up this space in here that we're going to need for later. And I can get some more. I can get some more optimized quarters up here for later. For later. Okay, let's get a battery here. Again, we're gonna need these batteries for later, but you see how fast that just depleted our alloy stocks, and we're gonna need to turn on this stuff again pretty soon. Yeah, building this stuff is actually killer. Let's just pause this so that we can get the steel mill emptied, because our docking bays are full. Everything's... It's not looking hot. Not looking great. Now let's go back to Sector 1. And let's finish this. And as soon as this is done, we can turn the EVA airlocks back on.
Hull integrity below 10%.
As soon as this is done, we could turn the whole thing back on. It's fine. Everything's fine. We can deconstruct this because our mess hall is good, and it's right across from our food storage, so we shouldn't have any food transportation issues. Please. Alright, turn this back on. The batteries also need to charge. They charge as fast as you have available solar power. So if you had, like, if you're using all your power, your batteries would charge extremely slow. Okay, and then let's do batteries up here. Yeah, I think we're going to need probably 3 or 4 batteries per sector if we want to make it all the way to Jupiter. We've got about 1 cycle worth. We can at least move to Earth, which is it's a tiny hop, but we can afford to do it. Doing this does chip away at your hull a little bit faster. Like, you lose more when you're moving. Just something to keep in mind. I also have some science. What did I say I was going to do with this? Oh, I was going to do the infirmary, but instead I said let's reduce the cost. Oh no, the science ship upgrades. Yeah, let's get exoskeletons. And we're going to want automatic ship repatriation as well. Those 3 are the 3 that will allow us to sort of min-max the next sector a little bit. Not a lot, but enough. Okay, we're now orbiting Earth, so we can reflect on our mistakes. We're not going to really need more workers in this sector, at least not for a while. Food is at 106. Let's get even another insect farm. Okay, this now we're breaking the SimCity. This is less ideal. But I think it must be done. And we got plenty of space down here. That's what I like to see. Once again, alloys not looking hot. Again, it's just balancing the hull versus... You know, we're at 99% efficiency. As that gets worse, then you just turn this off and try and stockpile a little bit. I could have built another steel mill. I just don't... I don't know. It's just because there's so much available iron in this system, I just don't even think it matters. Like, we can afford to sit and wait. So I'm going to finish the batteries. I'm going to move to Jupiter. Everything's going to be great. Again, I'd like to get rid of these eventually. I also want to get some... I can get more quarters here. Eventually, this is going to go away, and it's going to move over to Sector 6. But that's a story for another day. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end here. And when I come back, we're going to be in the same place. We're just going to be working through getting our batteries built. We'll move to Jupiter and basically do everything to actually properly finish the mission. Then I'll just cut a bunch of footage while I sit here and I, you know, let science accumulate and I burn through all the iron in the system and unthaw everybody. That's the plan. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.